Diablo 4 is an inescapable, addictive blast that I almost didn't play, and that would have been one of my life's greatest mistakes. And odds are, you might find it inescapable for you as well. But why is that, you ask? Well, for one, it's fun. You remember that? You remember what fun is? Yeah, actually, me neither. I don't remember what that is. But seriously, I had such a blast in the open beta to the point I can't remember the last time a game came out where I could not put it down, to the point where I completely ruined my sleep schedule just so I could play for one more hour. The only reason I didn't put more hours in than I did, which was about 12 or so, is because I still have to touch grass and didn't Gorilla Glue myself to my chair. But that still doesn't tell you much, so let's go on a little journey real quick. Our journey begins by speedrunning our choice of role right before doing the same thing with character creation and being as basic as we can get, all right before entering the hellish landscape of Sanctuary. Shivering away on the edge of the abyss after having our horse become some monster's midnight snack, we are let loose upon the world to rip and tear until it is done. And it is amazing. From the start, this world hits us hard and fast with its dark, oppressive atmosphere that would make even Doom Guy weep, and not a single second feels wasted as we quite literally stumble into the suspiciously sinister village of Nevesk, whose locals ask us to clear the nearby Ice Howl ruins, leading to a series of rather, unfortunate events. Following these events, we journey further into the frigid landscape of the Fractured Peaks until we reach the city of Kyovashad, a safe hub where we can rest and where our journey truly begins. It is here that we are given that sweet, sweet freedom to journey into the starting zone for that epic demon-slaying action in our quest to stop the evil forces of Lilith. Once we are off the rails, we are given this amazing-looking world to explore, and even though we are confined to the starting zone for the open beta, everything hit just right. Between the skills, loot, dungeons, and atmosphere during the introduction and beyond, I found little that negatively impacted my overall experience, and I honestly couldn't ask for more other than for a game to be fun. That being said, I am by definition a filthy casual who doesn't generally play ARPGs, but as soon as we are given our freedom here, I couldn't help but keep playing hour after hour, and not once did I feel bored. But that's not all. The open beta did a fantastic job of holding my interest, and quite frankly, this is the most interesting game that I've played in quite some time. We've all played games where we load in, kick a little bit ass, and then are so mind-numbingly bored that that game just ends up getting thrown into our pile of unmemorable experiences. However, that doesn't seem like that's going to be a problem here, starting with the dungeons. The first time I set foot in Light's Watch, for example, with a small group of friends, I fell in love with this dungeon's looks and highly enjoyed dungeon crawling through this filthy, grimy area. And don't even get me started on how much I enjoyed fighting an 8-foot-tall werewolf that kept on throwing smaller werewolves at us. The overall experience of running around and clearing every nook and cranny was genuinely enjoyable, especially in those unexpected moments of finding a booby-trapped treasure chest or picking up a temporary, ridiculously powerful ability like getting enemies to drop piles of gold every time you smack them around. This same feeling extended over to other dungeons like the Defiled Catacombs, Forsaken Quarry, the Forbidden City, and Dead Man's Dredge. Side note though, of all the bosses I faced off against, the Butcher can eat my ass. Of course, I do feel it's worth mentioning, backtracking through a dungeon does tend to happen, and it can be a little annoying. There is an element of repetitiveness in the dungeons overall as well, but minus the occasional backtracking, it wasn't something I really noticed too much because I was more interested in what was happening in front of me. No matter where we go, there is something in front of us to do. In fact, there is a lot going on in this world to the point it's almost impossible to run in any direction and not find a world event, quest, or just hordes of demons to rip apart for their gold and sweet, sweet loot. This ranges from exploring the wide open world that is absolutely filled with things wanting to eat your soul, down to exploring less hostile places such as the dingy rundown settlements of Kyovashad, Menestead, and Yelesna, to name the few safe havens I did get to explore. These havens are interesting little areas where we can get a little rest and relaxation while either salvaging the crap we picked up, bothering every soul we see, or partaking in everyone's favorite hobby, gambling. Honestly, there is so much I could cram in here for the sake of cramming it in, but the best way I can summarize this is every area we explore feels fantastic, and the atmosphere is just mwah, chef's kiss. I also can't forget to mention how much I've loved what I've seen with the skill tree so far, and the ridiculous amount of skills there are to choose from between the major classes. There's so many potential builds you could make, and it's super easy to change your skills around if you don't like what you've set up, or just want to experiment like the mad scientists we all are. While I didn't get to mess around with the other classes, I highly enjoyed my time playing as a rogue. I already know that there are plenty of people focused on min-maxing, but for myself, I just wanted to focus on setting up a fun little overpowered rogue build that might have caused hordes of demons to explode. This was an absolute blast that I want to do all over again when we finally get the chance to play the final release. And of course, I genuinely want to know what the deal is with Diablo 4's central antagonist Lilith. I will not go into any spoilers here, but from what I did get to play, I will say the story so far has me asking questions that makes me want to throw my hard-earned beans at Blizzard even more than I already do. Or in other words, yes, I would like to know more. But, and this is a really big but, even though the Diablo 4 open beta was an extraordinarily positive experience for myself, friends, and family, the performance is something that is, it's lacking. In many areas, mainly in settlements, there were huge lag spikes and frame drops. Sometimes this went on for a few seconds, and the next these would last for minutes. This is also not mentioning server disconnects, which thankfully only happened a couple of times in my case. There's also the occasional overly long loading time, even though there was no queue time when loading in. And of course, there are a few bugs that I myself encountered that definitely indicated a certain level of polish is still needed before launch day. This is the only aspect of the game that shed a negative light on it for myself and the others I know, and hopefully Blizzard learns from not only their own past, but also from other developers who tried to shove a product out the door that really wasn't ready to meet a deadline. Seriously, Blizzard, if you're listening, fix the bugs. Pretty please? Now, like I said, I almost made the mistake of not playing the open beta because I didn't realize what I was going to end up missing out on. And now you better believe I'm going to be there when this bad boy drops. This game is addictive, it's interesting, and most importantly, it's fun. It is an inescapable behemoth that I wish we could load into together right now just to go and kick some more demon ass. But unfortunately, it looks like that day is gonna have to wait. In the meantime though, I've got you covered with another amazing experience right here.